Okay, let's dive in. I want you to picture something that sounds almost, well, frankly, unbelievable.
Hmm.
Imagine a whole country planting 5 million trees.
Okay.
Now imagine them doing it in just 1 hour.
Wow.
That actually happened
Yeah.
in Burkina Faso. It's an incredible record.
Um,
My first thought is just how logistics must have been staggering. How do you even start to coordinate that?
yeah, it's an amazing number. But what's really fascinating here isn't just the record itself, the sheer volume. It's that this massive effort, it's deeply tied into something much bigger for the country.
Yeah.
We're talking about a major national push against severe desertification, trying to restore ecosystems, and really fighting back against climate change impacts. It's the collective will behind it, the organization. That's what's truly remarkable.
5 million trees. 60
Yeah.
minutes. I mean, it's still just mind-blowing to think about the speed and scale.
Mm.
And our sources mention thousands came together. A stunning display of unity and environmental commitment. That's the quote. So yeah, this is a historic green milestone. And that's our mission for this deep dive, right? To really unpack how they pulled off this incredible feat, pull out the key insights, and figure out what it might mean, for the planet's future. Let's dig in.
Absolutely. We need to look at the strategies, the community involvement, how a nation rallied like this for the environment. It goes way beyond just that headline number.
Right. So the obvious first question. 5 million trees, 1 hour. Sounds like a coordination nightmare.
Yeah.
What were the key things that let Burkina Faso actually achieve this? What did the sources tell us about the how?
They do give us some good pointers. And one of the main things that comes through is that this wasn't purely a top-down government order. Not at all. It seems to have been driven by really decentralized community mobilization strategy.
Decentralized. So not just the government saying, go plant trees.
Exactly. You had thousands of volunteers, local chiefs playing a huge role, youth groups. They were central. The government provided support, definitely seedlings from nurseries, coordinating some distribution logistics, that sort of thing. But the real energy, that came from the grassroots level.
Huh. So less command and control, more like a collective surge.
Yeah.
That kind of flips the usual narrative, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Were there specific local structures they used to make this happen?
Precisely. The reports point to existing community structures being leveraged, things like village development committees, local associations, groups already in place. These groups mapped out planting zones, they made sure the saplings got to the right spots, they organized the volunteers, and often, apparently, they did quick on-the-spot training for proper planting, which is critical, right, for the trees to actually survive. This sense of local ownership, it seems absolutely fundamental to how it worked.
That makes a lot of sense, empowering people to be drivers, not just cogs in the machine. Okay, what about the trees themselves? What kinds were they planting? Was it strategic, considering the climate challenges there?
Very good question. Yes, the sources really emphasize the strategic selection. They went for fast-growing, drought-resistant indigenous species, mostly things like neem and acacia varieties.
Okay, suited to the conditions.
Exactly. Not just random trees. These are chosen for survival in arid or semi-arid areas. And beyond just being tough, these species offer other benefits. Firewood, fodder for animals, maybe medicinal uses, improving the soil. That gives communities a real stake in making sure the trees thrive long-term. It incentivizes care.
So it's not just speed, it's about planting the right trees, trees that actually help the communities involved, sustainable benefits. Which brings us to the why. Why this massive effort? We touched on desertification, climate change. Can you paint a clearer picture of the specific threats Burkina Faso is facing?
Certainly. I mean, Burkina Faso is right there on the edge of the Sahara. It's hit incredibly hard by climate change. The increasingly unpredictable rain, long droughts, serious land degradation.
Right.
Desertification isn't abstract there. It directly threatens food security, livelihoods, especially since so many people depend on farming. So planting trees on this scale, it's a direct defense against losing more land. It helps stabilize soil. It can improve groundwater levels. It's about building resilience. Honestly, it sounds like a matter of survival and securing a future.
That really highlights the urgency, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. Beyond the ecological side, did the sources mention other impacts? Social, economic maybe?
Oh, absolutely. The main goal is environmental, no question. But the act itself, bringing thousands together for one common tangible goal, That builds incredible social cohesion. It strengthens community ties, gives people a shared sense of purpose, maybe even a sense of agency.
A feeling of, we did this together.
Exactly. And economically, sure, there are the direct benefits from the trees later on, but also potentially the beginnings of a green economy. Local nurseries, seed collection businesses, sustainable forestry jobs. It could create new opportunities down the line. It feels like a really holistic approach, using environmental action to spark broader development.
It really does sound like a powerful model. Citizen engagement in action.
Hmm.
Could this inspire others outside Burkina Faso? What's the big takeaway for you reading the source material on this? What does it suggest about tackling these huge environmental challenges elsewhere?
For me, the biggest takeaway, the thing that's most compelling, is seeing what becomes possible when collective will is genuinely activated, especially when it's done through that decentralized local ownership model we talked about.
Right.
The sources are clear, challenges remain, you have to make sure the trees survive long term, there's maintenance, how do you scale it up further?
Right.
But this initial success, its powerful proof of concept, it really underscores that top-down orders often aren't enough. You need that deep community buy-in, that active participation. This model, community-led, focused on the environment, it feels like a potential blueprint for real impact, especially in places facing similar ecological crises.
So let's just recap briefly. We've looked at Burkina Faso's absolutely monumental achievement, planting those 5 million trees in just 1 hour. It really is a historic green milestone, isn't it? Powered by what the sources called a stunning display of unity and environmental commitment.
Tying it back to the core purpose, it's vital to remember why they did this, those critical goals. Fighting desertification, restoring damaged ecosystems, tackling climate change head-on. This event is such a powerful demonstration of what collective action can achieve when focused on these massive global challenges, especially when it's driven by empowered local communities.
So thinking about everything we've discussed, this incredible story, what does this all mean for you listening right now?
Well, it leaves us with a pretty provocative thought, I think. Building on what we've learned, if a nation like Burkina Faso can pull off something that seemed, frankly, unimaginable, setting this record through unity and that specific kind of shared, locally driven purpose, what does that suggest about the potential that exists for other communities, maybe even other nations, to tackle their own environmental challenges and make a real difference for the planet's future if they come together? Perhaps using similar strategies that empower people locally, it really makes you reflect on the power of collective will, doesn't it? That often untapped potential.